Hello, are we live? Now, judging by the bars I'm seeing, the music's kind of loud, so I'm going to turn it down. For now, at least. Tell me if the audio balance has improved, guys. The music shouldn't be loud enough to be distracting, but not so quiet that you can't hear it. It's, again, I focus without music, but I think it adds a good ambience to these streams. No one's complained about it, so music's here to stay. Now, you may be wondering what today's stream's all about, because some people are still asking, even though it's in the title and description. Let me just start off by reading chat. Creella begins and sets off with a great start saying, "Oh boy, this will be an interesting one." I think it will be. I think I want to start doing more real life, controversial kind of discussion on Debate Direct, and I'll try not to make it too strict because, I don't want this to make this like some kind of school assignment where there's like a set reading list and, you have to have X and Y for your argument. I just want this to be a kind of free, casual discussion just for a fun live stream, but I do want it to be informed. I do want, people to use reasoning and logic and, for there to be a polite give and take to everything. And most importantly, I want people to actually learn from this. If nothing else, learn from the experience because, no matter what I or anyone else says, whether they're right or wrong, if a point can be supported with evidence, it can at least be justified. And, that's what that's what this is about. This is about having a good debate, outside of the usual gaming streams. Anyway. So, DJ's here, very interesting, I agree. Yes, UK is going back into lockdown 4 weeks from Thursday, so I've heard about the UK lockdown. Once again, the government is a shambles. No one is surprised, unless they're, brain dead. We're definitely going into another lockdown, and I don't imagine they're going to learn fast enough to even prevent a third lockdown in early 2021. That might be me being pessimistic, but, I won't make it a secret that I fucking despise the Tories. They're just kind of... I wouldn't even call them human beings. They're just kind of awful. I'm sorry if that offended you, but, we can debate that if you want. It's just my opinion. Don't take it too seriously. There's plenty of things wrong with the Labour Party and all the other politics as well, but, political discussion, people get offended by that, so let's try and stay away from that, at least, reasonably for now. But yeah, the Keen Places of Education open, which is dumb as fuck, but, I will admit, I had it easy. I didn't do any exams, and I got into uni. Guaranteed, if I had to do my exams, I would not be where I am right now. I don't think I would have done well enough in economics. I think the other two would have been fine. I think economics would have screwed me over, and I wouldn't have been able to get into uni. Or maybe I would have. But there's the thing. Is the pandemic a good or bad thing? Surely it's terrible. People have died, and everyone's lifestyle's changed, but maybe it's a lesson. Maybe. Exactly, it makes no sense, as Smog says, because educational places where the majority of cases are arising from. As a student at Royal Holloway, University of London, I'm doing everything online. I'm not going on to uni for, the foreseeable future, not until term 2 at the earliest, assuming things improve by then, which I doubt they will. But yeah, as you always know, it's just kind of... Yeah, I'm not going to complain about the British government anymore. Anyone with common sense can do that. I need to turn up my mic. My mic looks pretty loud. I'll turn up a bit. My mic is turned up. Audio's made better. And yes, you may have noticed the mystery icon. What's the mystery icon about? Don't worry, it was intentional. Your mic is fine. My audio is turned down a bit. Oh, okay. I'm going to fix that. I need to turn music down for me. This doesn't affect you, but it's really quite loud for me and distracting. So... as always, we have this new setup and it shows the player list, player list of everybody in the stream. Obviously you have me with the Halloween profile pic, which is going to change tomorrow because this is the last part of the 3-part Halloween special, even though it's now November. The mystery icon is there because I don't know who is going to be in the stream. I don't know who's going to get a shout out in the description yet. It's a mystery. Even I don't know. And why don't I know? Let me explain. So if we go to the game screen here, we have a like goal, which is just again a reference to the Take one seriously because this isn't part of the series, and the QOTD. And if I just open my display capture, I'll read the description for anybody who hasn't already. I'm sure you've all seen it, but I'll go over it again just to be clear. I said 2020, a horror show of a year. Or was it? Is perception of defining a year as good or bad a good way of understanding history? What criteria are we judging a year on? And how should we approach 2021? Let's discuss open mic on the Hydration Nation to answer these 3 questions and more. That's a grammar area. To answer. No, answers on to these questions are more. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was just reading it wrong. Forget it. I think I'm gonna skip the charity shoutouts. Well, I'm not sure. No, did I have a plan? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Okay, but seriously, folks, this is it. I'm just gonna start off with a bit of a ramble, as I always do. However, anyone, and I mean anyone, assuming they don't make me kick them out of voice chat for whatever reason, I doubt that'll happen, can join in on the discussion and be in this stream. And if someone makes a very significant contribution, as the QOTD suggests, then I will happily link your stuff in the description. So here I am on the Hydration Nation, got a new notification. Very cool. So let me just go to the information tab. This is the Mr. Matt Discord that you may be aware of. It's the most popular social page. It's like a whole forum. We've got like all these kind of like channels and roles and stuff. It's very cool. I am now going to sit in discussion 2, because why not? And anyone who wants to add to the discussion can just come in voice chat and make a suggestion. As soon as my Discord connects, it's stuck on RTC connected. Why? Why do you do this? This has been happening a lot lately. Okay, I think it's working. I can always talk to people in voice chat, and obviously if the audio balance is bad, tell me guys if the music needs turning down and the people in chat need turning up. Speaking of which, it looks like somebody's already here. Hello, Lucy. I can't hear you. Oh, I think I heard you. You're very quiet. My audio is kind of spazzing out. Sorry, I can't. Hang on. I'm gonna restart Discord because it's lagging out my computer. I don't know what's going on. Sorry guys. I don't know why I've been having these problems lately, but Discord has been pretty funky. Like my mic's not been working, and it's really annoying. Also, why is Microsoft Teams open? God, just shut down. I don't need that running in the back. Oh, I just realized I'm still rendering a video. That might have something to do with it. Don't worry about that. The Vegas profile is just doing a thing. Right, let me fix this all up because my God, things are like Spotify's stopped. I didn't pause Spotify. It's just bugging out now. Give me a second, fellas. Okay, no, Spotify's just gone. Maybe we won't be able. Everything's lagging. Give me a second. So I'm going to restart Spotify. Oh God. I'm going to turn the volume up. I'm going to turn Spotify right down in the mixer as well. That should help. Okay. God. Damn. God. Damn. Okay. It says it's still stuck on RTC connecting. Come on, man. Yeah, sorry guys, this is, my mic is bugging out there. I don't know what's going on. My mic on the stream is bugging. Wait, on the stream? Oh no! Last time this happened, I had to restart the stream. Hold on, fellas. Hold on. I'm gonna restart the stream briefly. Give me a second. Hey, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. My whole computer is kind of lagging out and freezing. I'm not quite sure what to do about it. Spotify application is not responding. Good to know. Good to know. Is my mic fixed? Because if it isn't, I'm gonna have to like. What the fuck? Did anybody else hear that? What was that noise? I just heard loads of sounds playing at once. I'm rebooting Spotify and Discord because like the voice chat isn't working. It says voice connected now, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Worst year 2020 confirmed. Again, the stream is fucked because it's in 2020, guys. No other reason. I'm addressing the problem, and 2020 is coming back with a vengeance. Why is the mic buggy? I need to hear what it sounds like. Worst year 2020 confirmed. Again, the stream is fucked because it's in 2020, guys. No other reason. I'm addressing the problem, and the mic sounds fine for me. Mic sounds okay for me. I'll keep an eye on it. Thank you for the heads up. I do know what the buggy mic sounds like. It's not good. Okay, I am successfully in Discord. I'll get rid of Spotify after. Spotify's a bonus. Spotify's a privilege that we don't actually need. I just thought backing music would be nice. Lucy, if you want to try joining again, that would be brilliant. I'm really sorry. Okay, let's turn Spotify down. Okay, that's too quiet now. It's not even registering on the OBS. You can't hear it. Alright. Can you guys even hear Spotify? If someone would like to join discussion too again, try it, because I'm in. Oh yeah, sorry, you can't see it. Yeah, I'm in. I think I've got things working now. Jeez, that was not good. Still, if we run out of time, we can always do a part 2. We can always do a part 2 if we run out of time. Again, there might not be many people active, and this might actually be a short debate direct, but still, I think it's worth checking out. What's this? Okay. Can you guys see and hear everything? You can't hear any music. Should be able to hear it now, I think. I'm not sure. There we go. You can hear it now. I need to adjust OBS. It should be loud in the voices, though. So yeah, if you guys want to rejoin, go ahead. But anyways, is the stream still working? I think it is. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll just get straight into this then. I'll get started. So, 2020. 2020, pretty bad year. Or so we've been told. Was it? Because the stream's good. Good, thank you. I don't know where Lucy is. If anyone else could type in chat, it'd be really good, because I can't see anyone's messages other than DJ right now. Yeah. So, 2020. Was it as bad a year as everybody makes out? Probably. But what defines a good or a bad year? I don't like to debate on semantics, but you've got to start with kind of contextualizing stuff and providing a kind of criteria for everything. So the questions I asked in the description was, is perception of defining a year as good or bad a good way of understanding history? Can you define different years by different methods? Because ultimately a year is a calendar. Like a year is made of like a calendar dates that are completely artificial and man-made. But on the other hand, said dates are based on the Earth's rotation of the sun, the change of the seasons, the change of like the moon every month, and so on and so forth. So are they really that artificial? They're grounded in real kind of spatial astronomical facts. But regardless, when we say good or bad, what does that even mean? What is the criteria of a good or bad year? Would it be whether a year has more objectively, as possible speaking, good or bad events? You know, a year that had more good things happen in it or more bad things happen in it? And, you know, can you really compare that with years, maybe more than 10 or 20 years forward or backwards in time? Given, you know, the massive change in, you know, society and culture and the standards of what good or bad really means, you know, in respect to what was the norm in, say, 1879 as opposed to 2020, or, you know, the year 1066 AD, or should I say CE, because I've discovered that new secular system BCEC instead of BC and AD, and I just think it's a lot more unbiased. But yeah, I don't know where Lucy's gone. I don't know if she's still watching the stream or got my message, so I'm a little concerned, but I can see that... Oh, no one's in voice chat. I thought I saw someone join. No one's in voice chat. So, yeah. Again, if you don't have a functioning mic, you can contribute in the live chat if you want, but I'd much rather have a voice-to-voice discussion. In any case, I'm still going to be talking, at least on my own. So... Stream's all good. What do we think, fellas? What is the criteria for a good or bad year? I mean, this is just my opinion, but I would say I don't think you can have a good or bad year. I think it's far too generalized and kind of broad to say in one sweeping statement, X year was good, X year was bad, because good or bad for what? Let's not just think about time, let's think about space. Are you measuring, good or bad for this country, the world, the universe, is this, what are you defining as good or bad? I think there are some obvious starting points that would be pretty useful. Say if you were going to go with humanitarian efforts, so a charity raises a load of money and helps stop children starving in Africa, or hundreds of thousands of more trees are planted this year. That's objectively good. You can't call that bad, because that benefits people without costing much. I mean, I guess everything costs something, so maybe there is no such thing as good or bad, because everything is good and bad. But no, I'm really focusing too hard on semantics here. You joined for a second, sorry about that. Oh, I mean, you can join if you want. Dude, if you got something to say, please do say it, because no one's in chat. Lucy was here, now she's gone. I don't know where she is. I'm gonna ping her just so I'm sure, because did she go offline? She might be having her own problems, but I'm like, yeah, I think VC is working now, so I'm just pinging her. Oh, I can see Super Mario DJ's here. Hello, DJ. How you doing? How you doing, man? Yep. I could really do with someone to bounce off when I'm having this discussion, because right now I'm just talking to thin air. Well, technically it's thicker. Let's chat. Yeah, so I tell you what, let's start simpler. Let's start simply, kind of build down on our preconception stuff. DJ, would you say 2020 was a good or bad year? Let's just start simple. Was it a good or bad year? Yes. And it won't be one or the other. I absolutely agree. I think 2020 was a mixed year, as probably every single year ever is. DJ needs to be turned up a lot. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Let me just turn that up a lot. I can also see Livy is here in chat. Thanks, guys. Tell me if the audio balance has improved. How you doing, Livy? Guys, can you hear Livy? Livy, speak. Livy, what do you think of 2020? Was it a good or a bad year? Sorry, you're bugging out a little. You said for you personally it's been what? Yeah. See, there's an elephant in the room, which is obviously coronavirus and COVID-19. 2020 has been a year like no other in a long time because of this, well, not plague, but, huge virus that has completely changed everyone's lifestyles. And I think that is what's really inside this discussion, because any other year would be really boring. We could list off, in this year, X species was saved from extinction, but also this country changed laws that have put minorities at risk, But with this year, coronavirus has changed everything. It's changed everything. Would you guys agree? Would you say COVID's the most important thing that happened this year?
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot.
Okay, so let's break this down. So, what makes a year good or bad? And then we'll link that to COVID next. What makes a year good or bad in your opinion? And then we'll link that to COVID next. What makes a year good or bad in your opinion? Yeah. Okay. What about you, DJ? Anything different or? Sorry, I'm just listening to the preview.
I think you can't define a single year by it was very good or it was very bad. There's going to be a mix of both outcomes.
So the what I find is that you're right. It's a whole mixed bag. So now. What would you say about, would Did COVID... let me think about this. Okay, so was coronavirus more good than bad or more bad than good? Or vice versa? Like, what do we think of that? Because it impacted a lot of things. It obviously changed our lifestyle, so we all had to, like, self-isolate and all that kind of stuff, wear masks. And there's been a lot of, like, political protests for and against it. And there's interesting effects of COVID.
You know, one thing, it changed how my marching band season went this year, because we had to do it distantly. We didn't really march, and then we only had a single show this year, and it was my final show. I was a senior this year, so it really changed that up.
Yeah, okay. What about you, Livy? Because, again, I don't want to be too personal about this. I'm trying to look at things in, like, an objective lens, but that's kind of difficult. And personal experience can inform people. What about you?
To be honest, I'd say it's more like if you... There's not many pros to, like, this, like, all the...
Hmm. See, I would suggest, obviously, COVID has destroyed the world economy. Well, not quite that extreme, but, you know, it's slowed down a lot of businesses and put a lot of other ones, like, out of service, and given probably more power to, like, corporate giants who can, like, you know, survive, whereas local businesses can't. But there's also just the oh, sorry, I can hear myself through your mic, it's so loud. There was the question of, what was it called? I can't remember, there was a key term. What I'm saying is that, COVID obviously did a lot of bad things, right? And this year was more bad than good because it forced people into an unnatural lifestyle, which has limited a lot of basic things like, you know, going out and getting exercise. You just can't do it the same. And, yet, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and argue that, there was more good than bad effects of COVID. What about all of the, information we've learned about health and hygiene? What about all of the benefits that have been experienced by, you know, companies like Zoom, and how much better at using computers people probably got via experience? Not to mention, actually, the fact that things like schools had to be shut down in some ways and some cases. I guess enlightened people on some of the flaws of the system and how much things improved. And let's not forget, actually, Italy's a great example. There was nature kind of revitalized itself incredibly fast when all of the regular pollution of people traveling in cars and trains and whatnot slowed down. And the sheer drop of airplane flights in Europe caused, like, so much... I guess, like, life to come back, and it decreased pollution massively. What do we think of that? Does that outweigh the cons?
I think balance.
Hello? I can't hear you.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't sure if there was a mic problem, because sometimes you cut out slightly. I don't think it's that bad, though. Take your time and think about it. It's a big question. Do the pros outweigh the cons, or were those even pros? Is that fair to say that COVID actually did any good, or is that controversial?
Hmm.
I'd say it did. Most people.
Hmm.
Livy, your mic cut out. I couldn't hear any of that. Could you say that again?
I think it's because I'm really quiet.
Maybe. Guys, can you hear these two all right? Because I've changed a lot of audio settings. It could be your mic sensitivity. But feel free to speak in the text chat as well if you would prefer, guys. Because I can see, I know for a fact some of you have mic problems and whatnot. Kind of scared. What are you scared of, Mithran? What are you scared of? Justifying your opinion? Boy, what a centrist. Kidding. Well, actually, no, that is a centrist problem, but...
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Sorry, I keep going to check my Discord notifications. I don't know why. Need to be focused.
One in chat says Livy's hard to hear.
Livy's hard to hear, yeah, okay. Livy, I'm afraid I've turned you up as much as I can. You need to change your mic settings or something. But I'm glad DJ's audible. Look, my point is this. I'm going to play devil's advocate here and make an argument against like the obvious status quo. COVID, whether it was an accident, a conspiracy, whatever it was, however it started, it was actually a good thing for the best because it exposed underlying problems with the way we live and the way we treat the environment, and also raised lots of awareness for various things such as health and hygiene, our political structures and education system, which might promote reform in years to come.
Am I supposed to be here?
Hello, Platty. I can see that Platty has joined. How you doing, mate?
Hi, am I allowed to be here?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be?
Okay.
This is open. This is open mic. Everyone can join. So, what is? Let me just repeat the question because I think you joined after I said it. What would you say is? Okay, so I've made a controversial argument, right? I'm saying COVID has done more good than bad in making 2020 a good year because it has done so much to inform us of all the flaws in our political, economic, and social systems. You know, the education system and like why it needs changing, as well as actually healing the environment because of the sheer reduction of pollution from airplane travels and such, as well as promoting a lot of basic health and hygiene that can apply both with and without COVID. What would you say to that? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I would say I agree with almost all of it,
Ooh.
except for the hygiene part. I think you said something about hygiene.
Yeah.
Because honestly, now COVID, I think that COVID is just encouraging people to stay at home and do.
True. That is a fair point. I can also see Lucy's made it back. Hello.
Hi. Yeah. I originally planned to come sooner, but my dad called. We had like a video chat meeting coming up, but he got much sooner than expected, so I had to leave pretty rapidly. Hello.
All right, but that's fine. You're here now. Thanks for explaining. We were just talking. I'm playing devil's advocate here, and I'm arguing that COVID made 2020 a good year because it raised a lot of awareness for flaws in the social, political, and economic structures of like, you know, the world, and raised awareness of things like basic hygiene, which can apply both with and without COVID, as well as healing the environment because there was a massive reduction in pollution. Because of all the, you know, fewer like air flights and stuff, and you know, the best example of that was in Italy because like in the canals there was loads of like creatures and like swans and stuff who were like reappearing, which was really odd. I can't remember exactly, but there were like animals in there. Like, I think the water became clearer. Like people could actually see to the bottom for the first time in like decades.
Yeah.
But do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you want to contend that?
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
Ooh,
also,
interesting.
Another positive thing about this is like a lot of people had like some time to like explore themselves a little bit more, like explore their personality, their character, their hobbies. Just like, you know, getting some fucking time. There's so many people who have like, I don't know, depression, anxiety, and whatnot, who are like overworked, who are overstressed, who have like way too much going on all the goddamn time because society lives too freaking fast. So I think it was actually quite good that these people, like, you know, got a bit of a break, got a bit of a breather, you know, just chill for a fucking second.
That's a really good argument, yes.
Also, in all honesty, I don't think America could survive another 4 years of Trump. So it's pretty good that, you know, the whole COVID stuff is really kicking his ass in terms of how he handled it. So I don't think he'd be, like, people have been so like against voting him now if there was no COVID that he had to handle and completely mishandled like he did.
Yeah.
So that's also
Yeah, before I speak on anything else, sorry Platty, I'll come to you in a second. I just wanted to say how interesting the argument is. I know that was a politically charged argument, guys, but politically, I am in agreement that Trump is an asshole and not fit for president. It's not even political. It's more just a humanitarian, moral kind of argument, but let's not dwell on that. I do agree that because of the digitalization, the foundation of the internet, and the sheer speed and the lack of patience people have these days because of the societal norms of communication and transport and technology, humans are actually, they're trying to function like computers, which is not sustainable. And this, again, this is personal, so I don't want to seem too subjective here, but obviously my experience has informed me that actually months and months off of school has improved my mental and physical health quite a bit, actually, because the kind of grind, and this applies to many different jobs and places, you know, all the stuff from basic retail to probably well, not the super rich management, because they get to choose their own hours and pay, which is absurd, but there has been a kind of this relaxation and actually stepping back because of the physical limitations we have, and actually this almost epiphany, I think, for many, that all of these kind of structures, our routines and cycles need to be changed and need to be reorganized, because they can utterly destroy the individual and do damage at a so-called economic profit, which in my opinion isn't worth it. But Platty, what were you gonna say? DJ, Platty then DJ, alright? Sorry, I'm gonna dictate who speaks on the chair.
Alright, I had just like a mini point, I guess, to add to your 2020 worst year ever. I'm gonna say it's not the worst year ever for certain things.
Let's go,
like,
yeah.
For people who like gaming, there's been tons of AAA titles that are really good and tons of just general good games that came out. And yeah, that was the point.
That's fair. That's interesting. Again, I'm trying to do this from a broad, objective point of view, but we should always consider certain groups and how they might be affected and stuff. There's been a massive increase in stuff like gaming this year because obviously everyone's locked indoors. So, you know, gamers and introverts, they're having a great time. Us. Lucy, you want to speak? Do you want to go before DJ?
I could go after, it's fine.
Okay, DJ, you were going to say something.
Alright, so I wanted to say, you know, I want to go against your point of getting more time from COVID, because I feel like time's been faster since, like, days have been blending in, and I even found myself saying, wait, it's like Friday or Thursday, or it was like Monday or Tuesday.
I've had that.
Moving.
Yeah.
It hasn't stopped.
But that's, to be honest, why, in my opinion, you know, that's kind of like a good thing also, because it forces people to find a different routine for themselves, because as long as you have a routine, you can remember what days have been when. But a lot of people tend to, you know, not know what to do with themselves. Also, now, unrelated to that, I'd also like to make the point that COVID has also just really brought forward the importance of artists and media and like all this creative stuff, this like escapism, and how important it actually is to people, especially in a society that lives so ridiculously fast. Because like I feel like artists are often ridiculed. It's like, oh, artist is not a real job, or like, oh, like you shouldn't be doing that professionally. That's not gonna bring anything. But people entirely forget how important artists are. They design your clothes. They design all these advertisements you see. They write books. They make music. They make art and animations and cartoons for you to watch, and shows for you to binge on Netflix, movies for you to enjoy. They make all of these things. All of these things are artists.
Oh, I like that. Interesting.
It's finally, you know, like probably getting more appreciated. Because like, who did you turn to in your times of grief, in your times of darkness, in your times of where nothing seemed like it should, where nothing felt proper? Artists. You fucking turn to art.
I'd just like to respond to those 2 points. So, to DJs, I think I agree with both DJ and Lucy, and that might sound contradictory because they were kind of saying opposite things, but there's a little balance here. Now, this is, again, my personal experience, but I think people will find this similar. It's great to have a break, a holiday, because that's kind of what COVID was for me. I had to stay indoors all the time. Yes, it wasn't like going on a holiday to the beach, sunny, anywhere, but it's like you didn't have work to do. Not that much anyway. It depends on different people. I was lucky again because I was in year 13, so I was already at the end of my course. It was actually not the case. A lot of children who were younger than me got more work online, managed by teachers who didn't know what they were doing. But for the sake of people who are me or older, the majority of the population who are maybe in jobs that don't work, online or are limited online. Again, like Lucy, you've been like only doing 1 out of 2 weeks for several months now, haven't you? Although let's switch back with your, it's like civil service, isn't it? In the military, not as a soldier, but as like a.
Yeah, it's civil. So basically, for context, what I do is I'm an apprentice and I'm learning to be a specialist in warehouse logistics, but I'm doing that at the German army in civil. So I'm not like a soldier or anything. I'm literally just going there as a civil person, like as a civilian, and work there. And we're kind of an essential service, but also not quite, because we're currently still in peacetime. Sure, we have we have specific things that our soldiers are currently active in. And helping with, so they sometimes need supplies, but we're mainly for the Air Force.
Yeah.
So we only get active when there's, say, like parts for repairing a helicopter needed or a specific jets or anything. That's the stuff.
The main point. Let's not deviate too much, but the main point is that there are jobs like Lucy's which are essential or semi-essential, but they've had to cut down hours so people have more free time. I think. At first, the first 3 months of lockdown, I honestly was so relaxed. It was the best time. It was like that one summer between year 9 and 10 for me because I had loads of time to relax, sleep, not work, have fun, actually get on with my own personal projects of just artistic stuff like these live streams. It is a form of art. I know, that's lame to say, but also...
That's true.
When that lockdown goes on too long... There's a different balance because on the one hand it starts off very relaxing, but when you have this same thing of like emptiness dragging on and on and on for after those first 3 months, it actually became a drag, and I wanted to go back to the norm because now there was nothing to do, and it was like the days do blur together. As DJ said, I don't know what day it is by default, so it was even worse for me.
That's mood.
And I think I moved nicely onto Lucy's point is because obviously in lockdown, when people started getting to that stage where it became a drag, there was nothing to do, art really becomes a great solution to having too much time. Because if you're not doing work, then you can entertain yourself with more content available online. Again, more than ever, we are having music, films, TV, like video games, animations, all kinds, streamed or, recorded and posted live on YouTube, on Twitch, on Spotify, all those kind of streaming services. So that's only become more and more and more important. And actually, funnily enough, because of lockdown and because, by nature, say, video game development, these kinds of things tend to be remote jobs where you work at a computer anyway, they've kind of had an economic boost because people have had more time to do them because they're forced to stay in homes. So for stuff like... let's call it popular culture media. That's a very broad term. I'm talking all kind of internet technology media. That they've had a real plus out of COVID. And so have I, because as a live streamer, I've had more people come into my streams because they've got more time to just stay at home and watch them. So yeah, both great points. I think that concludes that kind of part of the argument. DJ's got another point. Let's hear it, DJ.
So I have another point, and this goes for COVID being like a bad thing because I feel like it has more health risk, and if you already have a health risk, like say asthma, like I do, it can be struggling to go, like trying to go outside and actually do stuff like you normally could. So it's like
again, and there's also the point that student places like schools and universities are where the risk is highest because although it tends to be the elderly who actually can die to COVID. COVID's actual death rate's very low. People miss the point of thinking, oh, well, if the death rate's very low, it's not actually that dangerous, is it? And that's not correct because the economic impact alone is vast. But the fact that so many people are getting ill and the fact that it can be so easily transmitted and there's no cure, that's the concern thing. The fact there's no cure. And also, you can have COVID more than once. There are multiple strains of this thing already. And it's going to be decades before it's totally eradicated, I think. Sad to say.
Another sorry for like this time of year.
Yeah, go on, DJ. DJ.
Like flu season is a thing. And then
God, yeah.
how would you be able to tell flu from COVID? And
Exactly.
That's another.
Another thing is that a lot of symptoms are
however-
similar. Go on, Lucy,
However-
speak.
Yeah, however, there has been more research on that and like how to tell the two apart, because there is differences in how it presents itself. Of course, just to be safe, anybody who gets the flu, who gets flu-like symptoms, get tested, of course, just to be sure. People should not go, oh, like, it's probably just the flu, so I'm not gonna go get tested. That is not a good thing to do.
No.
So, I'd say, either way, like, testing. Like, it doesn't even matter if you have the either or the other, just test to be safe.
Yeah.
It is, people are, like, professionals are able to tell the two apart, from what I've seen.
Indeed, it's COVID's complex because not everyone is affected by it the same way. Some people won't have all three of the main symptoms. The one thing that really distinguishes it is a lack of taste or smell, and if you're not having that, chances are it's not COVID, but even so, you can't be certain. Again, it affects different people differently. Some people will die to COVID, and some people will barely feel it, based on, whether they're asthmatic, like me or DJ, if they're, like, older, got, weaker immune systems, all kinds of different things. So, again, this is just kind of a side thing, but, guys, stay safe, Basic hygiene's always been important. Wash your hands properly, but also, wear a mask. Wear a mask. It decreases the transmission of COVID if you have it massively, as well as just other things. Wear gloves if you need to. Social distance, this kind of thing. Just follow the regulations because they have been researched by professionals, and the government's implementations, say for example the UK's, hasn't always been perfect, to put it mildly, but there is research on it. And actually, I recently heard, don't jump to get too excited here, but Oxford University, a group of scientists there are possibly on the verge of finding a cure for COVID because they're experimenting. They've got an experimental vaccine, so the end could be in sight. But yeah, I'm just throwing that in there. Lucy, you want to speak?
I kind of forgot what I wanted to say.
Oh, sorry. I'm rambling a lot. I think we're getting a little off topic anyways. I'm just going to catch up with chat as well. Mithran said that the Black Death doesn't eradicate, apparently, and a few people got it last year, so COVID might be there for centuries.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah?
So, like,
Wow.
on the topic of symptoms, my best friend had COVID, and she had the symptoms, she had what's considered a mild, the mild symptoms, but she still had, like, stomach issues, which is not really a normal thing for just flus. So she had to, like, throw up a lot to the point where she couldn't even keep the liquids down, and she had to go to the hospital and get, like, plugged into an IV to get hydrated, because otherwise she would just not keep it down. She couldn't.
Oh my god, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Imagine not being able to hydrate, guys. Sorry. That is genuinely horrifying.
She's fine now. She's fine now. She's all healthy again. But yeah, it did leave a shock for her.
Livy, just one more thing before we change topic again. Livy, have you got anything else to say on these recent points? Because you've been quiet for a bit. Don't know if your mic's okay and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Not. I think it depends on how close I have talked with my phone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, your mic's still cutting out, but I can make out what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. To be honest, like when lockdown started, because I'm a college student, my teachers not exactly like the best with like online lessons and stuff. They kind of just gave us work and told us to get on with it.
Right? They do that. They did that before COVID was a thing.
Yeah,
See,
I guess it was just kind of like worse because we couldn't actually like we could email them, but there would be points where they just wouldn't respond.
because they're not familiar with the technique. It's like, responses are slow. You can't just walk up to them after class and have that face-to-face conversation, which goes so much quicker. I think there is one thing I want to point out here. If I had to come to a conclusion, and we're not going to conclude yet, we can keep going if you want, but if I had to come to a conclusion based on everything we've discussed, I think the empirical evidence, based on all of your personal experiences, what we've all seen in the news, is that 2020 was more of a bad year than a good year because coronavirus changed everything. Everything changed when the coronavirus nation attacked. And obviously, it is this horrific disease. People have died from it, And like you might think, okay, it was only 0.2%, but actually because it's so contagious and so many people have had it, it's still a substantial number. So there's that obviously. There's the sheer economic impact. So, again, some industries have thrived. Zoom, the Chinese government's kind of like call service, which is pretty funny considering this disease apparently originated from Wuhan, where there's like a biomedical research center. But I won't get onto that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
However, though,
they've profited, as well as like media companies who are online.
I'd like to say something on the topic.
Yes.
On the topic of China, they also were one of the first ones to properly react. Like, they immediately went through all the measures, like literally all of the fucking measures to get the shit under control, and they did. Which is why, a couple of months ago, they were able to pretty much walk around mask-free because they pretty much had 0 cases.
Exactly. What China has done, and what even Italy, who had really bad suffering of COVID, has done, which the UK and USA most definitely have not, is actually listen to the researchers and apply the measures in full properly so that we don't get this, shitty lockdown, no lockdown, semi-lockdown, no one's really sure what the rules are. It's like in school when you're told the rules but no one actually follows them, and it's that sheep mentality with the so-called people in power and leaders. China did really good on that front. They did a proper lockdown, and that is a great achievement. But the thing I think that is important to distinguish, because it's never a black and white issue, is that actually COVID has done more good than bad, but not in 2020. It's done more good than bad, in my opinion, in the long term, because of the potential reforms in society that we're going to get as a result of this. One can hope, because I will say this now, there are problems with the school system, with the work system, with the internet, with governments, all kinds of things. And there's an inflexibility which has been highlighted, which could be great for years to come. Not to mention all the just educational parts of it. Despite the fact we have had thousands of people die or become seriously ill and entire companies shut down in 2020 in the short term because of this. So it's a long-term good, short-term bad kind of thing, which is why I think 2020 has been probably not the worst year ever. Again, is it fair to compare it with years from 100 years ago? Probably not. We'll get onto that, but in the long term it could actually do more good. So I that's why I'm saying 2020 is more bad than good, but I don't think COVID, the thing that's really inciting this discussion, that's changing everything, has actually done more bad than good.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we did have a lot of natural catastrophes going on this year.
Yep.
Like the Australian wildfires, although I think that was last year, right? But they still had it went into 2020.
Let's
the aftermath of that. The hurricane, whatever it was in America, I think.
Yep.
Was pretty bad. There were floodings everywhere. There were wildfires like crazy in America as well.
Yeah. I think I want to.
We also had the whole presidential election thing that we have yet to see how it's going to turn out, and that might also be a whole catastrophe in its own.
Indeed. I want to point out that we've spent a lot of this stream talking about coronavirus, but we haven't been talking about 2020. Now, again, I'm not expecting to have perfect knowledge or memory of this and research, because I forgot a lot of stuff myself, but Lucy's reminded me. There were other various things this year, and the most memorable ones are all the bad things that happened. At the start of the year, I believe there was a World War III threat, because a USA military force had assassinated some kind of general in the Middle East. I can't remember the details. World War III was almost promoted because they were threatening each other with nuclear weapons, and that was reminiscent of the Cold War, very scary. There was all these natural disasters Lucy was talking about, which have wrecked various countries such as Australia, USA. Wasn't there a gender reveal party this year which started a massive forest fire?
I think that was what sort of California fires, wasn't it?
First of all, there's an entire party for the gender reveal of your child is a little strange and, in my opinion, frivolous. Because what's the big deal? Why would you? Wouldn't you already know? Why? What? But also the fact that actually caused a forest fire that has destroyed hundreds of thousands of acres of woodland and habitats and all that. Yeah, horrific. And those kind of big events don't happen every year.
Oh god, DJ.
So
Isn't all that stuff about like blacks and whatnot this year too.
So what was that, DJ Black?
You are completely
Said like
apart.
right, like the whole race. So like
The whole protest.
Black
like,
Lives Matter.
Was also a big thing.
So yeah, another big thing from this year.
Yeah. Alright.
Now see, this is an interesting thing. I'm going to argue that I don't think Black Lives Matter has affected how much worse of a year 2020 was, because all that's happened is a slightly more extreme than usual case of police brutality and systematic racism in the USA. And all that's happened is that what has always been around and what will continue to be around for a while yet has been exposed. I think all the things that make the racism in the USA bad, that's never stopped. That's always been around. You know, there wasn't suddenly a spike in police brutality this year. There was a spike in news coverage of said police brutality. And this whole, there's still now in the USA, despite the, racial equality advancement in Europe and other countries, still these echoes of segregation and, racism and, literally, racist laws and treatment of people because of the color skin. That's never gone away. That was always around. It's just we weren't as aware of it because what happened, was it George Floyd was his name? I can't
George
breathe.
Floyd.
Yeah, because of what happened with him, because that was so... I guess that I don't know why that one was covered more than any other case. There's been a whole lot. There's a woman called Breonna Taylor who was murdered. I think that was 2020.
No, wait, I think Breonna Taylor, right?
So I actually think there's been more good than bad in regards to racism in the USA this year, because the coverage has provided a massive strengthening to this positive movement of Black Lives Matter all across the world, not just in the USA. Go on,
I have
Lucy.
to say a point. So, while I think it's really, really good that people are speaking up and going on marches and everything, and like really protesting this really terrible thing that's going on, and has been going on for decades, unnoticed or at least ignored.
Yeah.
I also think that there was a lot of needless carnage and a lot of like really shitty responses by, for example, Donald Trump. Like teenagers and underage people and young people who went out to peacefully protest were tear gassed. They were basically kidnapped into unmarked vans by people without uniforms that were actually policemen or like policemen that covered up their badges and just kept abusing their power in every way, shape, or form. It of course just goes to show like how terrible the situation really is. But at the same time, you have the white people, who are like against this shit but want them to look bad and then start like rioting like crazy in the way that destroys things and puts cars on fire and all that shit. Then you have the shooting that the teenager caused who killed like two protestants. And the police basically just driving him to McDonald's and then to the deputy only for him to get out of it without an issue.
Yeah, just because he was white, he got a really light sentence. It was so stupid. There's so many examples that you can find them on Instagram. They're all over Instagram. I was just going to say that Mithran has put in chat, George Floyd caused more outrage because it had proper video evidence. And that makes sense, Not every case of this is just going to casually be filmed, but that one was filmed and that one became viral because that's how the internet functions.
Yes.
And I think there's a positive of the internet. Things like this, anyone can spread a lot of information more easily, but that also allows misinformation to be spread. But it means
which is what we see with the anti-mask and anti-vax
if the mainstream media's perpetuating lies, it's easier to actually dismantle them because of social media. I think I will add that I think you're spot on, Lucy, and the despite all the positive things that came out of it, this happened at the same time as the coronavirus pandemic. So going on those protests was already risky because there was no social distancing. And that's like a whole other problem because how can you help that? But aside from that, there were riots. And some of those riots were actually from Black Lives Matter protesters. Although, were they justified? And let's not get it conflated with the various riots caused by undercover police officers to make the movement seem more bad. Because if we're honest, Black Lives Matter was, and will be a very much non-violent movement. It is not a violent movement at all. The vast majority of cases is that they peacefully protest. The riots, again, there's a lot of misinformation about it. We don't really know who started what, but even if it was black protesters starting riots, thieving from shops, destroying property, could you justify it? Maybe. What do we think?
I mean, I have an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I remember seeing people like tweet about and like post on Instagram about, for example, Walmart. I think it was
Yeah.
either Walmart or Target. One of those big brands, like multi companies, actually like I think donated to Black Lives Matter and posted about, and we're like, guys, you know, we like, or the damage of property and stuff we have, it can be like repaid in money. That's more important than losing lives.
Yeah.
Because lives cannot be returned. Lives cannot be replaced. Which I think is really important.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just remember this hilarious meme. There was this white guy in the middle of like a Walmart that had been like rioting, like, you know, like broken into everything, and he was just like casually stealing a Lego set. I think people like that are just opportunists who are the rats of society, but I'm not going to judge him. Again, it's Mithrana said in chat, it's a case of a very loud minority of people protesting violently. I think that's the key. Minorities can be louder than the majority sometimes.
You know what's funny?
Which can be good or bad. Yeah, go on.
You know what's funny? There's also been rather not peaceful protests of white people against Black Lives Matter, and also of white people against masks, and like they're doing a lot more damage than the Black Lives Matter movement. However, the Black Lives Matter movement was more aggressively met by police forces. So, and like more broadly covered in media. Also, I see like I've seen a lot of people post about, for example, what the media covers and how the media, like the news media is like showing what happened versus what actually happened with like video evidence of the people that were there.
Yeah.
There was, for example, what was it? I think like you know, like the policemen like kneeling in front of like the protesters for a picture that appeared like in news reports and whatnot, but then you saw the actual video, and after they did that and took the photo, basically, everything went to shit. Like they sometimes like they went to the cars and then like drove straight into the protesters.
Oh yeah, I've seen clips. It's horrifying.
And like they used tear gas, and you know, in a lot of states, and a lot of like not necessarily states, but like in a lot of countries, using tear gas is considered a war crime.
Yeah.
And like this has been used against minors, against teenagers, against protesters.
Again, if you if you have control of the police and the media, you are able to create a totalitarian state, and that's what the USA is. You can call it a democracy all you want, but it's barely even a republic. It's a shallow mask for what is very much a closed, exclusive. Well, I'll tell you again. My dad told me this great quote: "Is that in the USA there is only one party. It's the Property Party, and it has two right wings: the Republicans and the Democrats." The whole system's completely corrupt, in my opinion, because all of the people in power are, you know, nominated by other people in power who are part of this old white elite who just wants to hold on to its own power, and. Yeah, the most it's utterly terrifying because on the one hand, all of this information revealed and all this made more clear is good, but actually the fact that there's been more retaliation and more suppression of these, you know, abused minorities maybe made 2020 a worse year either way. What do we think? Livy and DJ being quieter. We've been hogging the conversation. Feel free to speak. I'm gonna try and find something or something relevant.
I'm trying to think. I had something I want to say to format how I want to say it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fine, it happens.
Because it may be the case that you don't have anything to add, but I'd love to hear, because you're American. As an American who is living in the USA, I'm very interested on what you have to say on this, particularly. No pressure. Oh, man.
Well, I was just trying to think, because I vaguely remember a lesson I had to do here, and it was like showing how they were perceiving every year was through like the like music videos and TV broadcasts, etc.
Yeah. What do you think about the coverage of it? I mean, was there anything happening in your area?
Wasn't anything happening where I am, but.
Yeah. We're not going to dox you. I know you live towards the eastern part of the USA, and this was more happening in the western part. I think, like central. I mean, you know, as a rule in the USA, the further south you go, the more racist it gets. That's a massive generalization. Don't take me seriously, but if you look at the history,
it's not too far from the truth.
it's not
though,
too
all
far.
things considered.
Correct me if I'm wrong,
The
guys.
thing is, I don't even know that much about the USA because I don't live there, right? But I have like a lot of American friends, and a lot of them agree that like the further south you go, the more conservative and the more like white and the more Christian things get. So that's how the voters also.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I could criticize the USA for an entire stream. There are a few countries that I despise more.
Honestly,
Because
just cheat.
say what you want about China.
Alright,
but-
Matt.
Yeah, sorry, DJ. Sorry. No, I mean, no, when I say I mean the U.S. government. The U.S. people are varying. I could say, you know, I could say the same about the Chinese as well for different reasons. Like they're still communist, which is interesting on its own. But
And also currently murdering thousands of
I'll
Muslims.
just
Yep.
by
Let's
why
go.
you ran at the US.
So they're both destroying racial minorities. Samesies, gang. I don't know why they're so angry at each other.
Sure, they have too much in common. Oh.
They do. It's
Maybe
hilarious
that's
and terrifying.
What, you know,
I'll-
like
Watch Matt ran.
Yeah.
Matt, you know how like opposites attract? They are the opposite of that. They're
Yeah.
the same. So they're, like,
That does remind me of this hilarious cartoon I saw once of like a Christian extremist from like, you know, Texas or somewhere like that, and like a Islamic fundamentalist from like Syria or like Israel or something, and they're like they think they're like, you know, supposed to hate each other, but they eventually have this beautiful gay relationship, and it's just hilarious. I can't remember the exact source, but it was really funny. There was this cartoon about Sonra, and it was a brilliant parody because it drew all the similarities, and it's like they fall in love. It's really weird and hilarious. And just, I can't find the article I wanted from The Guardian. It was from ages ago. But I was just going to say, Mithran's pointed out the Hong Kong protests, which is pretty worth mentioning because they got worse this year. Hong Kong wants to be an independent state, but China is, well, the Chinese government wants world domination. It's no secret. But they can't handle people being different. They have what are effectively concentration camps that are very difficult to get footage of. Any footage you find of people trying to get into like Chinese concentration camps, there'll always be police people telling them like turn away. And there are interviews with people who actually got out, and they're literally brainwashing Muslims into this kind of self-hatred and destroying local minorities. It's horrifying.
They're basically trying to like not just breed out but also brainwash out the like the Islam.
Yeah.
Islamist, like.
I think there are Muslim.
They're trying to turn Muslims into like their own thing.
Yeah.
So they're no longer Muslim, and which is honestly really terrible. Like they're forcing them to eat like pig meat and
It's weird.
whatnot.
Yeah.
They're forcing them
Horrifying.
to drink alcohol and like literally brainwash them into humans. They're also forcibly making like doing operations on women to make them infertile and not be able to like reproduce anymore, which is really terrible. Like every woman deserves a choice in that.
Right? Yeah. Like, jeez. It's, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I'm not gonna do a charity shout-out today, because I can't find the exact link I'm looking for, but if there's one thing I can encourage you to do today, just go educate yourself on these matters. If you want to judge whether 2020 was the worst year ever or not, just go educate yourself. Read the news. Check out The Guardian, The Independent if you're in the UK. Don't read the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail is full of shit. But I also read Private Eye, but that's a political satire magazine, so it's not quite the same, although the articles at the front are just the ones newspapers refuse to publish for political reasons. I think we're gonna bring this to a close soon. I'm just checking kind of what else we can talk about. DJ or Liffy, do you have anything to add to what we've been discussing before we move on to the final stage? I think I should bring the stream to a close pretty soon. We've been going for over an hour.
I nothing else to say.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
I don't have anything else to add. I think you
Fair enough.
and Lucy summed it up pretty well.
I'm sorry if we're talking too much. Please do, well, not interrupt, but raise your hand if you will. We could use MS Teams for this, couldn't we?
Raise hand.
Yeah, but,
My question.
All right, I tell you what. Let's get real, bruh. I want to bring this to a natural conclusion. The last thing I put in the description was, and I quote. Let me just click that edit button. How should we approach 2021? That's a bit vague, but I think
Good one.
2020 worst year ever. Again, you're welcome to disagree and debate this with me now, but I think it was not the worst year ever. We can do this now if you want, but like, can we really judge this year with like the Black Plague from like 100 years ago, or like whatever plague? There was something in the 1900s, like the Middle Ages, where like people were beyond impoverished by today's standards. I think I'll skip that, but it was definitely, in my opinion, horrid and awful in the short term, and possibly more good than bad in the long term.
I agree on that.
You agree?
I think, considering how 2020 went, and like 2020 was both good and bad. Like there was a lot of very very bad things. Generally speaking, if you speak like outside of us as individuals and like what we experienced, but like in the greater scheme of things, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But also, I think depending on how the U.S. election is gonna go, and depending on how politics further on gonna go, and how much people are gonna stick to, hygiene measures, I think 2021 has the potential to be good. In all honesty, I personally, if Trump gets in power for another 4 years, I think we have to get ready for a shit show.
Yeah.
Not just national, but also international, because that's gonna have consequences.
Again, it's the most powerful country in the world, and he's in charge. Yeah. DJ's got a couple things to say. So again, I wanted to add. Actually, I was thinking about previous years, because people have said stuff about 2016 and 2019, in particular, being really, really bad. But again, I don't think you can cut a line between a year, because things just don't magically shift or change or stop or start as soon as that calendar turns over. These kind of political, socio-cultural things aren't affected by, the rotation of the Earth, the orbit of the Earth, or even just our, well, maybe perception affects things. DJ, what were you going to say? So going to 2021, what do you think we should really have in mind? How do you think it will go? Will it be good or bad?
I think making it through most of this year, there are two things that really come to mind, and it's like taking it almost day by day, but also trying to get a couple steps ahead of the game, and also just I lost my second.
It's fine.
It happens. You'll remember if it's one. Was it something about what was Lucy saying? Was it something about the election specifically? Because that's going to affect you. I mean, you're not old enough to vote yet, are you?
I'm 18.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Who are you going to vote? You don't have to tell us.
All right. I remember the second thing.
Yeah.
It's don't try to keep repeating the same act over and over again. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Yes. I think one of the main problems that so many civilizations face is that they don't learn the lessons of history. They don't think about what's just happened going forward. You know what I mean? Yeah, England is about to face its second lockdown because, quite frankly, the government screwed up. They didn't follow the measures properly. They were slow to react, ineffective in implementation, and kind of just avoided doing all the right things. Oh, and they magically found a bunch of statistics showing how badly they were doing, like, a week after it was too late. And all those kind of things. They didn't import, like, enough masks and stuff. It was some really stupid stuff. The number crunching in Private Eye sums it up really well. Hello, Mithran's joined. How you doing, mate? Yeah. I think that's what I want to say. How you doing, Mithran? You've been in chat all the time, so you've already caught up in this, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi.
You want to say something in particular about what do you think 2021 is going to be like, how we should approach it?
I think it's going to be okay, but like not too great.
I would say nothing's going to magically stop. Police brutality and systematic racism in the USA is going to keep going. I can't predict the future, nobody can, but if I had to honestly say, I feel like if it's either going to be like this for a long time, or there's going to be some kind of full-scale revolution, because judging by the sheer scale of some of those protests and the the kind of unstoppable force that is the bureaucracy of the USA. Like, I see things getting pretty violent pretty quickly. And I mean, we all know their culture is guns, guns, guns. They still cling on to these 400-year-old rules about, you know, everyone should have the right to defend themselves with a gun. And obviously, COVID's going to keep going. Now, I think COVID will slowly but surely alleviate. I think by late 2021, you know, we might not have really severe restrictions, but it's definitely going to be floating around for years to come. It may be only a couple of years, maybe 20, I don't know. But I think if people wise up to the problems this year, as DJ said, things will get better. I don't think it will be as bad. But then again, you know, the end of the world was predicted to be 2020, 2021, 2016, 2019. Has anything felt real since 2012, guys? Be real here. We've all just been in purgatory. This is just another world's hell.
Oh boy.
So yeah, to Livy and Mr. Andy, who've not been speaking as much, do you have any 2021 predictions? I'll put it that way. Nice and broad.
Say 20, probably gonna be like 20, but not like. I feel like there's still gonna be restrictions, but just not as many.
Yeah. I can see. Sorry, you first, Lucy.
It's fine. Basically, if I have to summarize what I expect of 2021, it's like the exact same as 2020, just more controlled.
Yeah.
A lot more controlled.
Yeah. Again, this is going to vary from nation to nation because countries do things differently. I know that my country's going to struggle with COVID longer than everybody else because we're going to have this awkward in and out of lockdown. Even when the rules are being enforced, statistics that I found out about in Private Eye revealed that actually not even like 10% of people even followed regulations properly because English culture is that of people who are lazy and uncaring and always see themselves as superior. I read The English by, what was his name? The guy from the Trend Show. I've got the book here somewhere. The English by Jeremy Paxman. That was it. Paxman's a legend. I say that he's a conservative, but he's all right. He's I think that book summed it up very well. I know I haven't read this, but I'll explain. Yeah, it's no, true. I just don't agree with his politics, but I think there is an attitude. I think countries like the USA and the UK have a very petulant, infantile attitude to these kind of things because the people in charge are beyond incompetent and the actual mass culture of the middle and working class is variably ignorant. I think Ian Brown, from one of the previous debate directs, was a great example of that. He is pretty much the entire trope of an English working class, kind of northwestern man. No offense to him, I think he's a musical legend, but I think his views on COVID were absurd, to put it mildly.
I think the issue with the UK and the USA is that both of them kind of refuse to take responsibility for their issues.
Yes, absolutely.
And refuse to, like, properly, really like, okay, yeah, we fucked up. Because they're still in the thinking of, like, America's in the thought of, like, oh, we're freedom, we're, like, the nation of freedom.
Yeah.
We're everything possible because we're our own thing. But, like, they come from a nation, like, they split off of nations that wanted to escape whatever politics were going on at the time.
Exactly.
And mainly English. And, you know, as soon as they try to, like, separate themselves from the UK, both of them continue to think we are the greatest because we conquered the world.
Literally, there's so many things wrong. But on the global scale, when we're talking about Germany, when we talk about Germany, France, Italy, you know, the Netherlands, Scandinavia, New Zealand, even China, who I would argue are in some ways more enlightened in regards to COVID and dealing with it. I think by late 2021, there might have been enough time for countries to recover and to have less strict lockdowns. So I am going to go into 2021 optimistic, as I think we always should be. I think it will have its struggles, but I think, again, it will be very similar to 2020, and that in the short term, there will be challenges. In the long term, there will be hope. And I think the Black Lives Matter movement's proved that more than anything else, because despite the horrific struggles that these people of colour and even white people supporting them have had to face with the, you know, police brutality, tear gas, the, you know, banshee sirens and all the fake posts in the news, the movement hasn't died down at all. It's not been a trend. It was trending, obviously, in a certain period of time, but there is still a very strong focus on change with a very large group of people who are just not represented by their governments. So, yeah, my final word on this is that things are bad, but epic hope in the future, yay. Do you guys have any final points before we end the stream? Anything you want to add?
No, I think we said everything.
I think everyone.
Yeah? Livy, Mithran, anything?
Yeah, just keep using hand. That's all.
Yes.
Say.
Yes. This is your reminder, guys. Stay safe, stay hydrated, but, you know, that's just a channel motto. Wear a mask,
Wash
wear
your
gloves,
fucking
Jan.
hands.
Wash your hands. Like, that's not even COVID related. Just be hygienic. And definitely social distance when you can. If you can't social distance, it's not safe to meet up. It's for the best. The more strict you are about it, the sooner we can go back to normal. But I am hoping that we never go back to normal, because the previous normal was not a good world. It was not good.
It was bad.
Um,
we perpetuated too much of the grind culture.
Yeah, grind culture sucks. I'm hoping for full educational reform, breakdown of the economic empire and the stranglehold that business giants and China is holding on the world right now. And maybe just a change of attitude in the West. Maybe a bit of a change, because I think it could do with it. I'm not saying that I support Biden, because I imagine he's very much a Washington establishment kind of puppet in the grand scheme of things. But hopefully Trump will lose the election.
Yeah, honestly, like, I disagree with some of Biden's policies. In all honesty, like, he's not a great candidate, but he's definitely more competent and more serious than tantrum Trump.
It's literally, it was like Trump versus Hillary Clinton. Like, Hillary Clinton is, you'd think that would be one of the worst options for president, and then you got Trump, who is literally a man baby from Mars, who can't even speak properly. He can't speak formally and properly. So yeah, it's. But, you know, it's a poor excuse to have, oh, vote for us because the other party's, like, really bad instead of just regular bad. The whole two-party system needs destroying. It's just, it's absurd. You can't atomize politics into just two ideologies, if you can even call it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream now.
Yeah, I think we came to a good conclusion.
Yeah.
Alright, so thank you all so much for joining. You guys have made great contributions, so I'm going to give you all shout-outs. I've noticed that the stream actually has a lot of viewers. It's got like 10 viewers, but no one's really chatting anymore. So to whoever is watching, please do leave a like, subscribe, share, hit the bell. Check out the social media pages for the best possible notifications. I'm going to give shout-outs to all of my collaborators here. We got DJ, we got Lucy, okay, there we go. We've got Livy, YouTube channels, Instagram pages. Mithran, do you have an Instagram? Because I don't know what page to link for you. Do you want to put yours in VC Mutes?
Follow me on Instagram.
Could you link it in VC Mutes so I can put it in the description?
Okay, wait.
Cheers, dude. Yeah, I'm just gonna put them in order of appearance. Just gonna enable this one, shoutouts. Here we go. But yeah, I think I was already...
Don't you follow me on Instagram?
I don't think I do. Do I? Oh yeah, I do! Oh, I remember now. Yeah, let me find that. It's Mythboy. It's Mithran. I know your profile picture. Putting your hand over your face. Yeah, dude, if you can link it, that would just be quicker for everybody. But yeah, guys, if you don't know already, check out these peeps.
Because I've never done it before.
Oh boy. Well, I'll just put your name in the description for now, but I'll put it in later. Guys, check out DJ. He does YouTube videos. I've already shouted him out a bunch of times. You already know. Really interesting stuff. Minecraft, FNAF, plush videos, gameplays. Livy, she's recently revisited FNAF 3, and she's also doing Luigi's Mansion in addition to Spyro, which is very nice. And Lucy, again, is an incredibly talented artist. You should definitely follow on Instagram for some amazing work. And yeah, I don't even know what Mithran posts. Dude, what are you even about? I don't remember your Instagram. Oh.
I just post random stuff that's funny.
Funny. What's your exact username? Because I'm not following you on my Mr. Matt account. I can't find it. It's like a dot in it or something. No?
His name is Crazy Myth 3, but like that's...
Ah, thank you. Okay, it's Crazy Myth 3. There it is. I got it. Okay, guys. So yeah, this is MythBoy's Instagram page. I'm not following it on the Mr. Matt thing, but he's a collaborator, so yeah, I'll give you a follow. Leave a few likes. What has he been posting? What is this? The description's not loading, or it's not in there. I don't care. They look okay. Diesel dies.
Alright.
Me right now. Okay. But yeah, that's everything, guys. So I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna leave voice chat. Bye-bye. Thank you for collaborating.
Bye.
Join the Discord if you want to be in a stream like these fellas, guys, and check out the pages. They're all great. Mithran, Livy, Solomon, DJ. Hmm?
I hope to be back for more Debate Direct.
Yes, more Debate Directs coming soon. I do one every week if I can. They'll be very interesting. Everything from press the button to what color is my hydration. Gone wrong, gone sexual, police called. Yeah, I'm rambling now. Yeah. Bye-bye. Stay hydrated, guys. And with that, I end the stream. Again, one more time. Whoops. Thank you guys for participating. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, hit the bell, check out the social pages. It's all linked in the description. And check out my collaborators, they're cool. That was a pleasure. That is a Halloween event over. So normal content will resume next week. I'm sorry that it's been a while since we've had any Henry Stickmin. I'll go back to completing the mission this Saturday because I've got so many other things in the meantime which I don't have time to do that one sooner. But yeah, that is everything, alright? Stay hydrated.